So yesterday we looked at how to calculate the slope of a line. So remember, slope is known as rate of change, and it is represented by the letter L. So slope is also known as rate of change, represented by the letter L. There are four types of slope. Positive, the line is going up from left to right. Negative, the line is going down from left to right. Zero, the line is horizontal. Undefined, the line is vertical. After that, we learned two ways to find the slope. One of the ways is using rise over run. But we use rise over run for graphs. So we did 5 examples of graphs yesterday. Did 5 examples of graphs. The other formula for the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's the second way to find the slope. We did went through the 4 examples for that. So the main thing that we're going to do today is we're going to look at how slope and rate of change shows itself up in tables and in word problems. And then after we do those, we'll take a short break, and then we will give you some time to work on IXLs, homework, or getting yourself signed into quizzes so that you can earn that extra credit and get yourself set up to review for the final. So again, for some of you, being in your feelings ain't gonna help, doing work is. So, be in your feelings later. You get the word now. So, in real world terms, the slope of a line, slope is known as rate of change, which allows us to interpret certain situations. So, the rate of change is a ratio that compares how much one quantity changes to another. For example, miles per hour is a rate of change. Dollars per hour is a rate of change. Tells how much money you make per hour. Words per minute is a rate of change. It tells you how fast you type per minute. So all those are rates of change. If you work out and you burn so many calories an hour, that's a rate of change. So rate of change is change in the independent variable over change in the dependent variable. So independent is what you have no control over. Dependent variable is what you can control. In math terms, it's the change in y over the change in x, which we have a formula for that, which we used yesterday. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we have a formula for that. So again, just to remind you, those of you who are able to print the notes, you are more than welcome to print them. You do not need my permission to print the notes page. That way you can write down and follow along. Those of you who are unable to print, you are required and you should be writing down your notes. Ultimately, these are your notes. These are what's going to help you. let's start with the table. Find the rate of change in cost relative to the number of people. So you have number of people in the first column and the total cost in the second column. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite the table just in case you can't see the numbers because of the darkness in the table. So we have the number of people. It says 6, 9, 12, and 15. And then you have total cost. 2, 8, 64, and 7. So that's it rewritten, just in case you need to rewrite it. So this is how it will work. So if you have a table, normally if you have a table, the X's are on the left, and the Y's are on the right. So same thing applies. X's on one side, Y's on the other. So for your table, you're going to pick 2 rows. Pick 2 rows to do the rate of change. So I'm going to pick first row and the second row. Does it matter which 2 I pick? No. You should get the same answer anyway. So it doesn't matter which 2 rows you pick. So I chose the first 2 rows. So 6 and 52 is the same thing as 6, comma 52. 9 and 58 is the same thing as 9, comma 58. Any questions so far? If you have a question, speak it, come off of mute and speak it, or type it in the chat. So for my new student here, Ms. Fry, same rules apply to you. If you have a question, those guys don't get fed up in here. We ask. But we have our points. Now we label our points, just like we did yesterday. And then we solve our problem. So we use our formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 58 minus 52 over 9 minus 6. So, what's 58 minus 52? That's 6. And 9 minus 6 is? So then we do 6 divided by 3, which is what? And that's 2. So our slope is 2. So now we put units on the answer. Since the dollars was at the top and the people were at the bottom, this would be $2 per person. So your slope is $2 per person. And that's it, probability. The explanation part takes a little bit longer just because it's being explained. Some of you probably already finished the problem. Questions on example 1? check here, not seeing any, not hearing any. So that means I get to assume that everyone knows what they're doing, which I'll find out on this weekend when you're taking your quiz. Example 2.
Mr. Lowe, I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm like a leading just to make sure what is the quizzes, what is that?
You talking about for the final exam review?
Yes.
Those are due the day you take your final.
Okay.
So those aren't due for a minute. Just don't wait until the last minute.
Okay.
No problem. All right. So example 2. You are typing a paper. At 5:15, you have typed 275 words. By 5:27, you have typed 660 words. Find the average rate of change in words per minute. How many words would you have typed by 6 o'clock? You're good, Joe. All right, so you're typing a paper. So at 5:15, you typed 275 words. 5:27, you typed 660 words. So we have time on one side, words in the other. So you got to find the average rate of change, and you got to find how many words you would have typed by 6 o'clock. So it's a 2-part problem. There's an A and a B part. All right, so let's go ahead and start working it out. So since they only gave you 2 sets of numbers, that's what we use for our 2 points. So you have 5:15, 275, and 5:27, 660. Now, we're not going to use 5:15 and 5:27. They both started at 5 o'clock, so we're going to take those out. Take the 5 out. We're going to make it 15 and 27 so that we can make it easier for us to do our work. So we only took the 5s out so we can make it easier for us. Any questions before we continue? Okay, let's keep going. So we're using the same slope formula. So we're going to fill out the top and the bottom. So, what goes at the top and what goes at the bottom? How should this be set up?
It should be 660 minus 1275 at the top, 27 minus 15 at the bottom.
That sounds absolutely wonderful. That's perfect setup. There's your x1, there's your y1, there's your x2, there's your y2. Perfect setup. So let's keep solving it out. If we work out the top, what do we get? What number would be at the top?
385.
You said 385?
Yes.
Alright, so So 385 divided by
Divided by
12. Sounds like we're probably gonna get a little bit of a decimal here. So what we gonna get? So 385 divided by 12 is going to give us something. Let me check the chat, make sure no one typed it in there. Oh, let's do Ryan's message. 385 divided by 12, what's that? Hopefully you got a calculator.
32.08.
Alright, 32.08. So we're gonna make that 32.1. So that's words per minute. So that's part one. Any questions on the first part? Again, always ask yourself, could I have done that without the teacher helping me with it? Because ultimately, that's what you're gonna have to do it without me helping. There's the first part. Now we do the second part. How many words would you have typed by 6 o'clock? So at 5:27, you have 660 words. You want to know how many you're going to have by 6 o'clock. So from 5:27 to 6 o'clock, how many minutes is that? How many minutes is between 5:27 and 6 o'clock?
43 minutes.
Close? Not 43. 43 would put you at 6:10. 42 minutes would be 6:09. So you want to know how much time passes from 5:27 to 6 o'clock. So let me make this a little easier for you. To go from 5:27 to 5:30 is how many minutes?
33 minutes.
33 minutes. There you go. So that's 33 minutes. So look at it this way. 5:27, 28, 29, 5:30, that's 3 minutes. Then 5:30 to 6 o'clock, that's 30 minutes. 30 plus 3 is 33. So 33 minutes. So 33 minutes times, how many words did you just find out you typed per minute?
32.1.
So you're going to take 32.1 and multiply it times 33 minutes. So what does that give you? 1059.3. So that's how many words that you're going to type in 33 minutes. Now you add it to the 660. Add it to where you left off. So how many words would you have typed? You add those up, what does that give you?
1,793.
So 1,719.3 words. And that's by 6 o'clock. So hopefully your English essay isn't 2,000 words, otherwise you still gotta keep going. That's it, problem's over. So again, this is a scenario that shows you how do you use slope, how do you use the rate of change, how do you use slope, and how do you use the rate of change. So questions on example 2, before we do one more example. And definitely appreciate those folks who are chiming in, asking questions. If you don't know what to ask, type it in the chat and we'll figure it out together. But the worst thing you can do is not ask and then be at home stuck. But last one. Example 3. Find a rate of change of the amount of water in the pool relative to time. Then find how much water will be in the pool after 15 minutes. So they gave you a table. Time on one side and water on the other. So time is going to represent X and water is going to represent Y. So you have 5 rows in the table. That means you can pick wherever you want. You can pick whichever 2 you want. You're going to pick whichever 2 you want. So somebody give me which 2 rows they want me to use.
The first and second row.
Okay. So first and second row. So you have 2, comma, 51.2 and 4, comma, 46.4. So I'm going to solve it the same way. X1, Y1, X2, Y2, find the slope. So how should this be set up? Something goes at the top, something goes at the bottom. It's okay, I'll wait. I know something like this. So 46.4 minus 51.2, and then 4 minus 2. Setups are easy, ladies and gentlemen. Get the easy points. So let's do the computation. 46.4 minus 51.2. What number is one at the top? So negative 4.8 divided by 2 gives you what? So your slope is negative 2.4 gallons per hour. the first part of the problem. Find the rate of change. Questions before we do the second part? Alright, and let's find the last part and then have to take a short break. Find how much water will be in the pool after 15 minutes. So, the last column on this table is 10. So you need to know what's going to happen at 15 minutes. So, how many minutes pass from 10 to 15? You're going from 10 to 15, how many minutes is that? 5 minutes. So, 10 minutes, you had 32 gallons. 15 minutes, you don't know. So 15 minus 10, that's 5 minutes. So 5 minutes times, you're losing 2.4 gallons a minute. So how much water are you losing?
Negative 12.
Negative 12. So you're losing 12 gallons of water.
Now we have to add 32 gallons.
Well, you're starting with 32, now you're going to subtract 12 gallons off. So you get 32 minus 12, which is 20. So that's 20 gallons left. So technically you are right. You are correct, Greg. You can add 12. I mean add 32. 32. Negative 12 plus 32 still gives you 20. So if you want to think of it as adding, that's fine. Questions on example 3? So again, the more you engage yourself, the easier it becomes. So, go ahead and take the next 2 minutes, stand up, stretch, do what you 2 minutes.